What is going on, YouTube people? Neo Cards and Comics here today for the Sunday Weekly Market Sports Card Update. That's right, we've been doing this thing for years now, every single Sunday, running through the major sports, the news, etc. First up, local show vibes. My local Canton show was Saturday. There was another show up in Cleveland. I did not make it up to that one. But I heard good reports from that one. Local Canton show was busy, very busy again. I picked up a couple hanger packs of 2023 Series 1. I got them for $10 a piece, 2 for $20. That's cheaper than what I could buy them for in Target and Walmart. So I opened those up. That'll be tomorrow's video. I wanted to check out firsthand how good, bad, or indifferent Series 1 retail actually was. And that felt like a pretty nice, cheap, easy way to dip my toe in the water, if you will. As you are listening to this, there's a very small, I think it's a newer show in Wadsworth, Ohio on Sunday that I may be at right now as you're listening to this. And then this coming week, March is a big month for shows. We have Shipshawana this coming week. I'm planning on being there. I'll be there for trade night Friday night, be at the show on Saturday. The following weekend is the Philly show. I am leaning towards the Philly show. I am not locked into the Philly show yet, but I am strongly considering it. Then I believe we have a Dallas show this month. I think there is a big Nashville show this month. And then the end of the month is the Mint Collective. So March is going to be like big show crazy. Philly show, Nashville show, those are all pretty big shows. The Mint, more of an industry summit, modern industry summit than an actual show, but March is going to be off the hook. Curious as always. I love hearing local show vibes. I have a channel dedicated in my Discord to local show vibes, and always curious to hear that in the comments down below. News-wise, I could be forgetting something, but I don't think it was a very significant week. News-wise, I don't remember anything super crazy popping up. I was still in recovery brain mode from vacation, playing catch-up at work most of the week. But I didn't see anything that popped up that was like super, super big. Series 1 is kind of like the talk of the hobby right now, with that releasing and all the chit-chat around that. So I plan on we're going to talk about Series 1 a little bit today. I'm going to do the box break tomorrow. And then I kind of want to circle back. I'll probably go to wait till the end of the week. So the back half of this week, and kind of go through and look at sold prices for some Series 1 stuff. And also, which we will talk about this today as well, some SGC slabs are starting to hit the market. So there's only like 2 sales. So I'm hoping over the next few days, some more go to completed, and we can kind of see what those are going for. But SGC ran that $9 Series 1 special, and we're going to look at the data on it real quick here in a minute. But that stuff's starting to come to market. Their turnaround time is lightning quick, so you get that stuff back fast. One last bit of housekeeping, and then we'll just go ahead and dive right into market movers. Both fantasy baseball leagues filled. Those drafts are running. I think the one actually finished up, and the other one's about to finish up. I will open a third if there is 11 people willing to do one. And if you already did one, that's fine too. That doesn't make a difference to me. But if you didn't get a chance to get in one, or you're already in one and you want to get in another one, if I get at least 11 people in the comments down below that just put interested in fantasy baseball, then I'll open up another one and I'll post the draft link in a community tab post and put it in the video description or something like that. If I see enough comments, I'll actually circle back and comment it at the top of this video, and you can come back and check for it if you want to check in on it. But I have no problems running another one. I just don't want to half fill it if not enough people are going to join. So let me know in the comments down below if you want another baseball league. Let's go ahead and dive into market movers. As always, if you want to check out market movers for yourself, there is a $1 for the first month offer in the description box of this video. First up, baseball. It is peak baseball season. I actually listened to the Indian spring training game today for a little bit. It's always good to hear Tom Hamilton on the radio. That's my local broadcaster. I've been listening to him for my entire life, basically. Always fun to tune into that first spring training game. And that's, for me, baseball, the preferred method is the radio. I'm not a big baseball on TV guy, but in the summer, I pretty much have the Indians radio broadcast streaming on my phone as I just like roam around the house, or I'm cutting grass or walking around the neighborhood or whatever it is that I'm doing. Baseball on the radio to me is like what it was born for. I really don't like sitting down and watching a game on TV. I much prefer a radio broadcast, partially because I like to be doing other things while I'm listening to baseball. Playoffs, different story, but for just, your average regular season night, love just throwing that on the radio and sitting back and relaxing. Indexes. We haven't looked at baseball indexes in a hot minute. I went back 60 days. That basically takes us back to Christmas. So since the first of the year, baseball is definitely warming up. Has been for a hot minute. On the screen here, we see the biggest moving index by far is baseball 2018 to 2020. They don't have new updated indexes yet with the 2021 and 2022 class. But 2018 to 2020, that's your Ohtani, Acuna, Vlads, all those guys are all in there. That is up 10% as an index. Now, indexes, I don't like to read a ton into them, but I do think they give you a decent macro look at what's going on. But we can see 3 of the main baseball indexes are up. That one is up 10%. 2000 to 2009 is up 4.6%. And then 2010 to present is up 3.8. And then there's another baseball index in there, 2010 to 2017. That one is down a little bit, just barely. I think the comment that I made the other day that kind of sums up the world of baseball, prices aren't going to the moon. They're nice. They're gradually going up on a lot of things. You're seeing nice little incremental gains here and there. They're not going to the moon, but baseball is extremely liquid. I mentioned it earlier this week. I got back from Florida from vacation, and I had almost a dozen eBay packages to ship out, and all of it was low-end baseball. Sub $50 stuff. All that stuff from that PSA order I have sold through. So baseball is definitely extremely liquid. I'll be very intrigued to see, coming out of the Shipshewana show, with that being right at the beginning of March, I have a feeling a lot of people are going to be looking for baseball, but we'll find out, get some boots on the ground. Mentioned it earlier, the SGC special with 2023 Top Series 1, $9 a card to grade. They have already have 1,500 on the population report, a 46% gem rate. That's actually high for SGC. Just generally speaking, if you just look at like their ultra modern numbers, usually their gem rate on a macro level across all sets is a little bit lower. Now, small sample size theater here, but we'll see how this number plays out over time. I wonder if that is indicative of either A, people being more selective, or B, the quality control on Series 1 is really good. Now, I don't have a ton of Series 1 under my belt. I did rip those 2 hangers. That video will be up Monday morning. I thought the quality control was pretty good. There was some centering issues, but like surface, corners, edges, for the most part, that stuff looked good. If anyone ripped a bunch of Series 1, like Jumbos, Hobbies, whatever, a pile of retail, let me know how the quality control was in the comments down below. But 1,500 cards graded, and this is really only like a week's worth of stuff. And really less than that, because you figure the set has to come out, then you have to mail it to them. Like that at minimum is like a day or two. And then, they're grading it in a day or two, and then it's hitting a pop report. Once again, I'm going to do a follow-up video, I think maybe Thursday or Friday, on Series 1. And I want to look back at this and see how much of this number changes over time. And also see if we have any sold listings. Like I said, there was a couple, but not enough to really draw any conclusions on whatsoever. To see how that stuff is moving, kind of analyze, was it worth it to be first to market? Listen, I know people in the comments are going to be like, SGC sells for crap, blah, blah, blah. there is something to be said about first to market. I would almost be willing to bet there will be some SGC 10 base rookies that sell out of the gates over the next 7 to 10 days that will be at or more than what a PSA 10 version of that card sells for by the time those start to hit the market. Because most people are going to, if you pull like a Gunnar Henderson base or an Adley or whatever, you're going to send that in bulk. You're not paying, you don't even know you want to pay $19 to grade that card. Get it back and then sell it. It's going to be like 2 months round trip, maybe a month and a half, just depending. Everyone's kind of seeing different times come back from PSA, but generally speaking, it's been running about 4 to 6 weeks, but including shipping and everything back and forth. We'll see. By then, the market could shift a lot. Season's going to start. What if one of them has a slow start? What if one of them has a hot start? It could benefit you. But also go back and look at 2022 update. Like the J-Rod, which is, he's the hottest player on the planet right now. His PSA 10 base from update does what? $50? $40? $50? Maybe $60, depending on the day if you're lucky. I think they're more like 45 to 50 right now. So it'll be interesting to see how the SGC 10s come out of the gates hot with those being on the market extremely quickly. We'll find out. I could be completely wrong on that one. I'll be very curious to see that. Speaking of 2023 Series 1, I pulled up just as a quick little glance because I just kind of wanted to see how the market was treating these guys. I went with rainbow foils. They're non-numbered, but they're obviously a lot nicer card than just the base card. There's a lot of them, but there's not a billion of them. Just to kind of get an idea of how, like the ordering of the class, like who is going for the most and then working down from there. I was just kind of curious to see how the market respects these guys in their Series 1 cards. So leading things on, you can see a bunch of red because obviously this stuff starts high and then comes down. I would expect these prices to continue to trend down on these. It's just kind of a nature of the beast as this stuff releases. Gunnar Henderson comes in the number 1 spot at $30. Michael Harris, number 2 at basically $20. Followed by Adley Rutschman at $20. Then we have Miguel Vargas at $15. Riley Green at $15. Tristan at $14. Vaughn Grissom at let's call it $11. Hunter Brown at $10. Oscar Gonzalez at $8. Brett Batty at $8.50. And then Nolan Gorman at $7.50. And then so on and so there's Peraza at $7. Trout at $4. And then a couple guys at a couple dollars. So that's kind of like your top of the class. Those are the names that you want to be looking for. It's not a perfect comp, but in terms of how they rank, this will probably cross-translate to other parallels depending on the card. So just give you a little bit of an idea what you're looking at for this stuff. Once again, more on Series 1 towards the end of the week, if there's enough sales data. If there's not a lot of SGC slabs that sold yet, we'll hold off on that. But that's kind of what I'm most curious about, is checking out how that stuff has moved in those slabs and for what kind of prices are they worth, factoring in the $9 grading fees. How did those people do? Was it worth taking a chance on that? Looking at wax really quickly, prices continue to hover between 200 and I've seen 220, 210 for jumbo boxes. Today at the local show, most people were 220 plus and pretty firm on that. So you might be better off. I know blowouts at 220. So if you're really jonesing to buy one, don't pay more than 220 because you can just get it online for that. Fanatics had them pop up on Friday. There was a coupon code available, basically made them about $180. And then we have Series 1 hobby boxes sitting at about 85. Those have not moved much at all. Jumbos did jump up a little bit, and you actually see jumbos are selling more than hobby boxes, which is a little intriguing there. Another one that's moving, sticking on baseball, and I noticed this the last couple days, is 2022 update. I have a lot of this stashed, so I watch the prices on it fairly closely. The big one that caught me, that kind of tipped me off that price was moving up, was the hanger boxes. Those are going for, it has it listed here at $24.95. You could get them on eBay for a couple bucks cheaper than that, but they're all well over 20 bucks a piece now. 21, 22, 23s, kind of depending on the day and the auction and the best offer accepted. But those are have definitely crept up. They were 15 to 18 bucks on eBay forever, and then just in the past week or so, they kind of slipped above 20 bucks, and now they have been floating there. Hobby boxes are sitting around 140, and then jumbos, that lists the last sale at 280. There was a sale actually at 280. I did go double check and confirm it, but generally speaking, you're looking at you could probably find one for 260 plus shipping plus tax. But I have seen some sales 265, 270, 272. So 2022 update jumbos might be ready to creep up a little bit as well. If that class starts the season hot or has a strong spring training, it'll be interesting to see if those prices bump up. We're not going to talk any NBA today. If you want NBA look, I did that whole market breakdown on, I believe that was Thursday's video. We went through a bunch of NBA cards. So it felt kind of redundant to dive back in on that. So if you are looking for NBA stuff and you missed that video, you can go check that one out from Thursday. We looked over a ton of NBA stuff. I wanted to take a quick glance in at football really quickly before we kind of wrap up here. I pulled up some of the trendy quarterbacks. I didn't pull up everybody. I grabbed Herbert, Burrow, Hurts, and Mahomes just to kind of get a vibe on what the pricing is doing for the upper end popular guys. I didn't include Josh Allen on this list. I didn't include Trevor Lawrence. I just took kind of a random sampling just to see what prices have been doing since the Super Bowl ended. So I pulled silver and hollow PSA 10s for this. Rookie years, obviously. The big thing that stood out to me, Mahomes did end up price correcting a little bit. His stuff was all over 4K in and around the Super Bowl. It is now pulled back down to a little under 4K, 3.85 for his PSA 10 silver. So his stuff has pulled back a little bit. Like I said, we see this happen a lot in these situations where a player wins a championship and their prices actually go down because the amount of supply that hits the market outstrips the demand, because everyone's waiting for that moment to happen to dump their cards or look for maybe not even dump, look for an out. And they're saying to themselves, hey, this is the best time for me to get rid of this thing. I'm selling. This is why I always say you're better off to sell before the event than after. One, it eliminates your risk of do they win or lose. And then two, most of the time, their stuff ends up creeping back down. Now, it didn't crash or anything like that, but it did pull back to kind of the pre-playoff run-up. You see the same thing in his Optic Hollow 10. That's down about 5%. Not a huge drop there. Hurts down 15% at 850, but that's actually up a little bit. His stuff got down into the mid to low 700s for a hot minute. I have gotten a lot of messages about Hurts stuff getting shilled. So, as always, just be careful out there. Like, triple check your comps if you're buying a higher end card. Make sure that the bidding history looks legit and all that stuff before you pull the trigger on something. Burrow Hollow down slightly. Burrow Silver is flat. Herbert Silver is flat. Jalen Hurts Optic is up like $5, and Herbert Optic is up $20, $25. So no significant upswings on those guys, and still some price correction on the Super Bowl guys. Right now, the hot part of football seems to be the spec plays. Your Jordan Loves, your Jared Goffs. I know Flipping Steve's real big on him right now. Like Trey Lance, like all these, I don't want to call it dumpster diving, but those sorts of guys, if you're willing to buy and hold, a lot of people are rolling the dice on that. Maybe sometime soon here we'll do a little off-season football look. Maybe we'll go like a month out, the end of the month, and get an idea of, or middle of March rather, go like a month out from the Super Bowl and kind of see where things are sitting, where things are at in regards to prices. I'll be curious to see what type of football action there is at Ships. My local show today, there was not a ton of football in the room. Definitely a lot of people had baseball in their cases playing to the audience. So we'll go ahead and wrap things up there. A little bit shorter than normal, but like I said, I just did that basketball video, so there's no real need to deep dive back into that stuff. If you're in the area, I hope to see you in Shipshewana for that show. Always a fun time up there. Always really like that show. Good trade night the night before. Should I go to the Philly show? Is it worth it? Is it a good show? I've always heard good things. I've never been there. It's about a 6-hour drive for me, so it's not too terribly bad to sneak in and out of there. I also want to put Chantilly on the list. I've never been to that show either. That's the other like big East Coast one that I've never managed to get to, that I've always heard exceptional things about. So maybe I'll try to make the trek down for that this year. If you're interested in fantasy baseball, let me know in the comments down below. General idea of content for upcoming this week. Tomorrow, I'm going to rip those 2 hanger boxes just to get a vibe on Series 1. It's the end of the month, so we should have some gem rate data this month to look at, or this week to look at. I do want to revisit 2023 Series 1 with SGC prices, if enough come to market. So if not this week, then the following week, because obviously they're coming. And I want to circle back into that population report and kind of see how that special worked out for them. Beyond that, I got nothing too much on the slate. I'm going to try to lock down my old pal Filmington so we could sit down and do our little annual tradition now of just having like an hour-long conversation about the upcoming baseball season. We've done it the last 2 years in a row. We may line that up for this week, so you might see that come out this week as well. That's all I have for you boys and girls. We will catch you on the next one. Peace.